So we are live. Good morning, everybody, on this happy Sunday morning. With me, I have Ms. Reema Deshkar. She's head of academics for MarketBot Solutions. She'll tell you more about yourself, but just let me introduce her. She has a rich 10 years of experience in education. She started, her career as banker, but then shifted to education as lot of our teachers have done because finally, you choose your passion. She loves to read, she loves music and talk like all of us teachers do. Rima, over to you.
Hey, thank you so much, Gunjan. Good morning, everyone. I am Reema Deshkar, and thank you so much for the beautiful introduction. Yes, I am a part of MakeBot Robotic Solutions Private Limited, and I'm heading the academics department of that company. So, yes, we are into robotics, we are into AI, we are into coding, and yes, the buzzword of the town, right? So, and I really want to thank Orange Slates for giving me the opportunity to talk about things about ATL labs where how can we start using it, right? So as we all know, the Atal Innovation, the Tinkering Lab, which was an initiative of our AIM, that is your Atal Innovation Mission. It started with the thing in our minds, in thing in the government case, to bring out the creative you in children, right? The creative learners in our country, to make them think logically, to make them think critically, to become creators, to become innovators. That was the whole mission for this tinkering lab to be set up in different schools, right? With the infrastructure, with the different elements which are there present in the Atal Tinkering Lab, it is an open space for the child to come, to innovate, to create what they want to. Actually giving them the wings to their imagination, right? Yes, of course, there have been success stories of ATL, and they're all gaga about the wonderful projects that have come out, projects which have actually got patents, right, because of their the creative mind of the children. But of late, we feel that there is a need of a complete end-to-end solution to a tinkering lab, right? What we wanted to emphasize is, there is not much of a help from the point of view of a technical guide, which is there to an adult tinkering lab. So you have everything. You have the infrastructure, you have the complete freedom of doing whatever you want to do, may that from a physics concept, a mathematics concept, an English concept also, right? But how to go about it, how to use the different elements of it. Okay, so you have your mechanical parts, you have your electrical parts, you have your electronic parts, the sensors are there, the motors are there. Okay, the 3D printer is running. Now, how do we go about doing it? Other than the basic projects which we can make out of it. Say, for example, in physics, I'm doing something related to a pulley, right? I come back to my ATL and I say, right, let me make a pulley. And there it ends. Now, how to, implement more things on it? So I don't want the thing to be restricted to what I do in class. I want to create. I want to do something more with it. So a complete end-to-end technical guide, a complete curriculum of how to use the Atal Tinkering Lab is what we're looking for. Okay, so a technical guide, a curriculum, now a graded curriculum. So the moment you come into a lab, so what do? Right? Other than your physics lab, your chemistry lab, your computer lab, when you are in an ATL, what do? What are the projects? Can we say, for example, if I just tell my children, okay, when you walk into a mall, what do you see? So they come up with solutions like, ma'am, we see this, a door opening on its own. How does it happen? So this is how I am tinkering their thinking power, right? And I'm telling them, okay, can they do something with that, something similar to that once we are in the lab? So that is when my child starts, okay, ma'am, do we need this? Do I need the motors? Do I need this sensor? I think, ma'am, the whole principle behind this, the door opening on its own is the work of a motion sensor. Now, what is a motion sensor? Where is it used? That's how my lab has to be used, right? That's how my child has to think. I am not putting things in their mind that, okay, done, pulley I have done, let's make a pulley in the lab. That's not the real essence of an ATL lab, right? The whole idea behind AIM, that is your Atal Innovation Mission, was let the child have the space to think. Okay? And for this, again, let me emphasize, you don't need a curriculum where you say, okay, give the child two motors, give the child one battery, give the child this. It's not how the curriculum is. The curriculum is giving them the space to think. So, say, for example, a project related to working of the toll gate, right? When we go for long distance travels, we have the toll gate working. Now, if I say that, I come to the lab and say that, okay, let's make something when you cross your Pune highway. What do you see? Ma'am, beautiful, the scenic beauty around. And what else? You have to cross a toll gate. How does it work? Ma'am, we give the money, and then it's, the person just helps me, puts a button, and the toll is off. Can we make things faster? So then he says that, yeah, ma'am, we have this fast tag which is there where you don't have to wait. You just have to, your code is scanned and you are gone. So how does it happen? So, ma'am, some sensor, there is something which the QR code, there is some. So that's how I am actually, making my child think. So I tell in my class that, okay, can we do something about it? Can we start making some project related to that? Okay, fine. So let's make a vehicle. Now, the moment I say let's make a vehicle, the child is at it. Okay, for a vehicle, what are the things required? Okay, now once the vehicle is done, let's make a pathway. In the pathway, okay, we have to make it. See, what I'm doing is I'm giving a wholesome learning to my child, where I am just a facilitator. I am just giving them ideas, in the sense I'm just probing them with questions which will help them to think. Okay? So this curriculum, this method of teaching, this, curiosity-driven teaching, this curriculum is what should be implemented in all ATLs. And for, again, and let me tell you, after say around 12 years of experience in the education sector, I'm still learning. I'm still, understanding, finding out new ways how to keep the child on its toes, how to keep the child engaged. So similarly, each and every teacher has to be trained on the ground. Trained means not that the use of a motor, the use of a sensor, not that. That is a technical training. But I think most of the teachers who are a part of this ATL lab have it. How to make the child use such things in their own creative way. That is what is most important. And for that, you need a complete training. Training in the sense, where the teachers interact, where they come up with solutions, they come up with, the problems we face in the lab itself. If there is some, if there might be children of different intelligences, right? There might be children who are more visual. There might be children who are more kinesthetics, right? How to cater to the needs of that. So the complete training is also required to keep your ATL, that is your Atal Tinkering Lab, tinkering all the time, buzzing. That, the child would want to go, the child would think that, oh, when is my ATL lab session happening, right? So this is what I feel, a complete end-to-end curriculum and a complete teacher's training is what is in need of the hour, where I know schools who have come up with queries that ma'am, we just need to get the lab moving, the infrastructure is there, the elements are there, how to keep it moving, because we have already finished our 10 projects, now what? Right? So that's when the curriculum will help. That's when my teachers training will help. And we as MakeBot, as I'm, a part of the company, we give you an end-to-end solution, an end-to-end curriculum for this, right? Not only that, teachers training program is also carried out. Right. So I would want to show you one video wherein, we have actually, it came up like an open space with few elements of ATL. And that's how we converted it into a complete STEAM lab. That's what we say. Ma'am, can I share my screen, Gunjan ma'am? Just give me a minute. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is. I hope you've shared the sound also, right?
Yeah, I did. you saw that, this is a complete, of course, the walls and all look beautiful. The children would love to come to a lab like this. But the most important thing is what has been done in the lab, right? That I am not, only going by the showy, the beautiful walls, but what has been done in the lab. That's very important. And the schools who already have this infrastructure with their ATL, it becomes easier for us, to implement the curriculum, to come up with more solutions to it. But very importantly, after the NEP has been declared, there are schools who have imbibed. There are schools who have already been doing it, right? Already been following the crux of NEP, that is interdisciplinary teaching. There is no separate science, English, maths class. Everything should be, catering to the 21st century skills. We are also looking at a curriculum in an ATL, in a STEAM lab, which is very much in in tandem to NEP, right? And for that, then let me tell you, being a teacher, as I said, there is no end to learning. So you need a complete training on that, how to have an interdisciplinary teaching. So it shouldn't be exclusive. So the moment you come in ATL, you cannot say that, okay, ATL lab, I am just doing projects. But how is it related to what you're doing in your science class, in your maths class, in your English class, okay? For that matter, English, social studies. Our curriculum also caters to that part of your syllabus as well. So how is it interrelated? How can you have a collaborative way of teaching? What are the different strategies of cooperative learning? Okay, so these all things have to be taken into account, because a class, not only does a concept is what we are looking into. Of course, the tinkering lab has the elements, so we are getting in the mechanical, the electrical, electronic part, everything there. But at the same time, we're also looking into that 40 minutes of class where there is little collaboration, there is critical thinking, there is a curiosity, which is where the child is always thinking what to do, how to do, and the creativity. So those 40, 45 minutes or 1 hour class has to be a mix of everything. And for that, other than the projects, how to deal with it, you also need a complete teacher's training. And to keep them, geared up, like, we always have this, okay, we already have so much of work to do, right? And being a teacher, we have corrections, we have, observations to be made on the child, we have lesson plans to be made. But keep them going, we also have workshops, we have certifications which will help you. It will add on to the kitty of your different qualifications. Already we are, you can say we are overqualified with experiences, right? But this will add on to the kitty of your qualifications, right? It is just a feather in your cap, like that. Okay, this is very important. And secondly, the lesson plans and all what we make, we also help them in doing that, because some every year there's a roll on. Some teachers are there, some are leaving, they're moving there. So for that, again, to start from the scratch is very difficult. That's the reason, AIM had, like your Atal Innovation Mission had this thing that everything should be in a upgraded form. Like, it shouldn't stop. Once I'm done with this, then I go on to the next level. For that, you need the continuous training, which has to be there for the teachers, right? Also, the innovation bit, for you, innovation is A. For me, my innovation is A square. Okay, so how to cater to that, right? Innovation, again, is very personal, very, it depends on the perspective, right? So again, how to cater to that? For an average child, he has created something really nice, a motor, you can say a bike, which can identify or which can sense objects and just take a turn. For that, it is innovation. For another child, making a building which is sensor sensed, or which is a building where you have all types of sensor, is innovation. How to build up, how the process should be, that is what is Tinkering Lab all about. So once you enter the lab, you should have that feeling of, wow, I have to do something more. So how to keep that going? That is where I feel we are, I won't say we are missing out, we have to work towards it. And of course, complete upgradation is required. What we did maybe 10 years before, what we did 5 years before, it needs a 2.0 version also now. That's how it is, right? So now coding, programming, robotics, these things have become so very much, important for us, that, for a school to have a complete wholesome development, we need to have all these elements in our class, right?
Yeah. So
Yes,
there's some
Gunjan.
questions here. One person has asked that how, in practical purposes, how do you schedule it? Should tinkering lab be, be every day for the child, or should you, schedule it maybe once a week or twice a week? How should we go about it?
Yeah, so it again completely depends on the school's perspective. So what we say that at least once a week the child should come to the lab, okay, and she or he should leave the lab with the curiosity, with the creativity, with the thinking thing that next time when I come back I have to do this or I have to think on something. So this is one way. Secondly, some schools say, ma'am, if we can have twice a week, that's absolute. It is again your timetable dependent. Right, so we can't say it should be once a week, it can be twice. If your number of children are less in your school, you can even have a thrice a week class where two classes, maybe with a facilitator, one class, let them be in the tinkering lab, whatever they want to do, right?
And how do we scaffold to the next class? See, for this class, you have maybe you're a seventh standard teacher, but you want to scaffold your students to the next class. When they go to the next class, they take obviously something from here. So it's part of the curriculum, or it has the planning, how it is done. Yeah.
So very important. See, this is the time, maybe January. By January, if we start working on the curriculum, then the complete handholding is also there. Because if, say, for example, I start in 23, my ATL lab, I have, upgraded. I have gotten back all stuff, everything working fit and fine, and let me start doing it, right? So for that, I need a proper planning that, okay, now I have started. So grade 5, the initial bridge course has to be done with them. That, these are the things, minimal information about it, because they haven't, because they've already reached 5, they don't know what is ATL all about. Okay, but younger grades will be at an advantage because they will be starting from scratch. And of course, there should be a proper jump to the next. So I know that in grade 5, these are the things the child should learn at the end of grade 5. So how you make it happen, that is the trick of the curriculum as well as the way the teacher is taking that. And a teacher in a tinkering lab shouldn't be like, as I said, given, okay, you do this, you do that. No, he should be just like a guide by your side, a facilitator. Let them think. If it is wrong, come back. If it is not working, come back. Think. That's the aim of AIM. If you say the innovators, that's how we get to see innovators here, right?
So Juhi here asks, what is the duration of your training program for the teachers? Obviously,
Okay.
not for the kids.
Yeah, of course. So, it depends on, the amount. So if you want only the curriculum of an ATL from grade 1 to grade 10, if you want from 6 to 8, so it depends on that. But yeah, of course, initially, if you have a curriculum, a school wherein the curriculum has to be followed from grade 1 to grade 10, we have a 5-day training, 5 hours every day. So again, it depends on the school or the person how you want to space it. Sometimes what happens, and of course, the training is done doesn't mean we are done with it. We have workshops, we have doubt clearing sessions. So the teacher is also on the move that, okay, I have to do something. And we also have different contests, where innovation you can see in your ATL, how the child, because of course, the more the facilitator you are, a successful facilitator you are, can be seen from the works of the child, right? So that's how it is.
Thank you so much. That was really useful, and I'm sure there'll be more questions throughout the day.
Yes, ma'am.
So even if we finish, you can keep watching the YouTube link and keep, putting your questions in the common group if you want. I will send it to her, and then we can, solve your queries. Meanwhile, if there's some more queries, we are open to it. Currently, I see just 2 queries which you have solved already. Thank you so much. So we will catch up with you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. And have a wonderful Sunday. That's only one day left for a weekend. And thank you so much for joining.